So I knew I wanted to marry her, to be honest with you, straight away. I said, Chris, you know, I just knew. But I said, let's not be hasty, Chris. Give it a decade. That's what I did. 10 years it took me. 10 years it took me. I was spending Christmas in New York. Good opportunity there to get married, get engaged, would you say? Nice and romantic. And I was a bit nervous, you know, even though I knew she'd say yes. And that's not me being cocky, you know, like, it's just that she did ask me a couple of times. When are you going to ask me to marry you? And that would have been a very cruel prank if she was just doing that so she could say no, like, you know. Gotcha. I was nervous about it because you wanted to be right, like New York, hotel in New York, all the hotel staff were helping me out. They were more excited about the wedding than I was, to be quite honest with you, right? I had a plan. Go out into New York, right? While we're exploring for the day, I'm getting the hotel room done up lovely, okay? So I'm meeting a fella in the lobby called Zishan on the QT. And we're just about to head out. I'm like, how's it going, Zishan? I'm going to do it today now. Can you do the room up for me? He's like, yeah. I was like, could you put some flowers in the room? He's like, done. Great. Could you put some champagne in the room? Done. I was like, could you put some chocolate-covered strawberries in the room? Yeah? Done. There's no phase in the fucker, like, you know? I could have asked him for anything. Or a baby elephant? What colour? You know what I mean? So I was like, he goes to me, one rule, right? Don't come back before 5. I'll have the room ready at 5 o'clock. Off I go into New York with my then girlfriend. Roughly an hour and a half later, she said, I want to go back to the room, 3:30. And I said, I don't. And that's all I had. She said, why not? I said, I don't know. And I started walking back towards a room I knew wasn't ready. I was panicking, you know. I was like, oh shit, what's going to happen here? It was Christmas time. I was thinking on my feet, right? I nudged my wife. I said, hey, it's Christmas time. Why don't we do the 12 pubs of Christmas? No, straight away, like. I don't know if anyone here now doesn't know what the 12 pubs of Christmas are. You might not be from Ireland. It's where you attempt to have 12 pints in 12 consecutive pubs. I wouldn't drink 12 pints in a month for you. But here I am suggesting it in a 2-hour window before an engagement that I waited 10 years to make, all right? Not the best idea I've ever had, but she was up for it, so I was delighted. We started going into the pubs. It bought me a bit of time. It bought me too much time, actually, because a couple of hours later, I'm like, fuck it, like, will we go back to the room? And she's like, no, we're finishing this thing, you fucking pussy. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be killed stone dead here, like, today. I'm all worried about the engagement room, and I said, okay, eventually I convinced her to come back to the room, you know, and on the way back to the room, I said, we'll just go back and get a drink, and we'll have a drink in the room and come straight back out. So we're going back to the room, and we have to walk through Times Square, and then she gets distracted by the M&M store. You know the M&M store? If you don't know it, you don't have to use too much of your imagination, because it's a building full of M&Ms, right? On a normal day, I'd hate the place with the nerves of the engagement now. Like, there's a queue to get in, right? There's a queue to get into the M&M store, and there's a far larger queue to get out. That's how shit the M&M store is, okay? But I go into the M&M store with my wife, and I'm there going, Jesus Christ, like, I'm 20 minutes away from asking her to marry me. Like, you know, I didn't know that at that point. I'm 20 minutes away from asking her to spend the rest of her life with me. And right there and then, in that moment, I actually hate her, you know? Have you ever felt like that? I'm like, I fucking hate her. Like, if I had a number for Zishan now, I'd tell him set the fucking room on fire, like, you know? And it's not her, like, it's the M&M store. That's what happened. It's the M&M store. I'm going, I can't take this place. I couldn't believe it was just M&Ms. I know that's what it says, but I actually couldn't believe it was M&Ms, you know? Because in my mind, you see, the room was gone to shit. I wanted everything to be perfect, and my imagination was running away from me. I'm looking at my watch. She's there stealing M&Ms, and I'm going, yeah, the fucking room is fucked now anyway. The flowers are dead ages. Chocolate-covered strawberries are probably after melting all over the bed now, making it look like someone just broke in and took a big shit in my bed. That's not romantic, is it? Oh, there's a big shit in the bed there. I'm something to ask you. And the champagne ice is probably after melting and flooding the bathroom, and poor Zishan is floating face down, bobbing around the fucking bathroom. That's all going on in my head in the M&M store. There's a dead man floating around the bathroom and a big shit in the bed. I actually had an argument with her. I wouldn't recommend it. If you're getting engaged, I would not recommend an argument 15 to 20 minutes beforehand. I said to her, come here, I'm going back. I'm not going up another level. I know it's going to be fucking M&M's again, like, you know. She got on with me and I joined the queue to get out of the M&M store, and there was a genuine queue to get out of the M&M store. She joined me later on then, and we're starting to walk back to the hotel, to the proposal room, and atmosphere's not great. It's not ideal, like, not saying anything to each other really, you know, one of those ones. It's like you don't want your first words in 20 minutes to be, will you marry me, like, you know. But it's looking like it's going to be that way. We get into the lift, we're in the lift of the hotel now, going up to the proposal room, like, still not a word between us, you know. Just the sound of her violently crunching M&Ms, right? That's a fucking horrible sound, isn't it? I gave her a filthy look, I couldn't help myself. And she caught me, of course. You can't get away with that kind of look in a lift full of fucking mirrors, like, don't do that. She got out of the lift, she went to the room, I swear to God now, opened the doors, Zishan couldn't have done a better job. It was unbelievable. Fair play to him. My imagination got the better of me. I asked her to marry me, and she said she would. I was absolutely delighted. And then she said, no, Chris, let's go back out and finish the 12 pubs of Christmas. And we did. I've never finished them before. I'd never finished them before that, and I wish I didn't now, to be quite honest. There's a price to pay for that kind of thing. Like, I just have a vague recollection of coming back to my room later, again, in the evening, you know. We got engaged, went back out, did another 7 or 8 pubs, came back. I see a very worried-looking Zishan in the lobby, because he doesn't know I've already been back and proposed, like, you know. We're not in great shape, either of us, like. And it's not as if he can check for a ring, like, because she's out of her fucking mind and she has her shoes on her hands for some reason, right? I'm just behind her then trying to get a pizza through a revolving door like that. I'll stay outside, I'd say. I'll stay outside.